Good morning and welcome to BOTB HQ in Parsons Green, South West London. My name is Christian Williams, a presenter here at BOTB. And we're here this morning to judge the latest Dream Car competition, which ran from the 15th to the 21st of February 2021. And just before I hand over to the lawyer this morning, once again, massive congratulations to last week's winner of the Dream Car competition, Matthew Cheneper, winning not only a brand new Aston Martin Vantage Roadster, but also £70,000. I'd now like to pass over to Alexander Evans from Onside Law, who will oversee the proceedings this morning.
My name's Alex Evans from Onside Law, and I'll be overseeing the judging this morning. Firstly, I can confirm that all the competition data has been sent to the auditing company, AZETS. I would now like today's judges to introduce themselves and, using the secure link provided, mark on the screen where they think the centre of the ball should be. The group will then come to a final panel decision.
Good morning, my name is Matt Cannon. I'm a senior county referee and footballer and hoping Boris tonight will let us play sooner rather than later.
Hi, my name's Renee Hector and I play football for Watford FC Women and I'm a coach for Tottenham Hotspur Foundation.
Hi, my name is Ari Mendonca. I've been involved in football for over 30 years, firstly as a player and then as a referee.
Good morning, my name's Hugh Gilroy. I'm a referee, a mentor, a tutor and observer.
Good morning, my name is Alain Goma. I'm an ex-professional footballer, having played for Paris Saint-Germain, Newcastle and Fulham.
Good morning, my name is Leo Donnellan. I'm an ex-professional football player, having been with Chelsea, Fulham and Leyton Orient.
My name's Liam Walsh. I'm a retired referee, currently an FA observer and head coach for the Referee Academy of Middlesex.
Hi, I'm Jenna Scalacci, former professional footballer. I'm now a head coach on a Tottenham College programme.
Hi, my name is Kieran Fitzgibbon. I've played football for more than 30 years and I'm now a senior county referee.
Good morning, my name's Andy Braithwaite and I'm a football referee, mentor and licensed observer.
Judges, please now come to a final panel decision. For your reference, the larger white cross is the calculated average of the 10 individual selections.
Thanks, Alex. Morning, everybody. We've got two players.
Morning.
Both looking up quite intently towards the ball, I think. The player in yellow, he's got his arm up, just sort of pushing onto the to the player in mauve's left arm, or purple. And I think he's possibly coming across to challenge for the ball. His head's furrowed. And the person in purple is just sort of looking straight up above him at the ball. So let me draw some lines in. We've got a couple of really good pictures of these eyes here, and we've got a fairly narrow band coming up from him, and we've got a slightly bigger spread coming up from the player in purple. We've got a view of his eye here with a little bit of white underneath. We'll go there. And we can't really see this eye, but we'll take this one here to make the spread. I mean, personally, I can't, looking at this player's eye here with a little bit of white underneath, I can't see why some of the choices are so low. It may be that people have come off the sort of 45 degrees off his forehead. I don't know, but I do think you can see a little bit of white under this eye. So I'll start with you, Leo. You're just below my choice here on the left and just furthest to the left. What were your views on what was happening here?
Yeah, hi, Matt. Yeah, just with both players, I think the player in purple is going to head the ball or challenge for the ball. I think the player in yellow is just on looking. I think if you look at both players' sets of eyes, the player in yellow for me, he's looking steeply, so I think he's looking quite high. I think the player in purple, if you look at his neck, it's kind of stretched quite far back and his head is tilted. So, yeah, like yourself, I think he's looking very steeply.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, I can't add anything to what you've said. I think that's the case. I mean, I did look at this player in purple, as you've said, and saw his neck is right back. I mean, a lot of the times we've talked about players viewing things sort of, or playing ahead, certainly ahead of straight off the forehead. But I thought with this eye, I could see a little bit of white underneath. So what I'll do is I'll go completely to the opposite and come with you, Liam. You're here. You're you're not the furthest right, but you're slightly lower than everybody else. If I put the magnifier on your choice, how did you view the photograph?
Just going back to what you said there, Matt. I took the guy in purple as having you said his angle of 45 degrees. I just didn't think the ball was as steep as obviously some of the other opinions. I felt I took his eye and head angle, and that's where and then as Leo had previously said, with the guy in yellow looking across, his eyes are raised, you can see the white underneath. And I just felt that, with the ball just very slightly in the foreground. And that's where it just sat comfortable for me. Both players for me are on the ground. No one's up in the air, so they've got, clear vision of the ball. It just sat comfortable. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. And Jenna, I'll go to you as I've done with Leo and myself. You're just roughly in the same line as Liam, but a little bit far higher up.
Yeah.
How did you see this?
Yeah, quite similar to Liam. I think I took a lot from the guy in yellow, his eyes. I thought we had a really good view of his eyes. The guy in red, I've gone slightly over to the right. I didn't feel like there was a lot of white in his eyes, so I didn't take much from that. That's why I'm not as steep as some of the other crosses.
Yeah.
So that's why I've gone over to the right a bit. I didn't feel there was enough white in his eye for it to be that steep.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, thank you very much. And Ari, I'll come to you next. You're just to the left and a little bit above Jenna's. What was your view?
Well, I felt that the play in purple is leaning slightly forward. Is fencing his left arm to protect his position. And I feel that he wants to see the ball drop before he attempts to control it. And when I saw the shape of his head, his position of the angle of his eyes, I felt that he's more central where he's looking. And because we had as well the very good eye lines on the player in yellow, I felt that the ball would make sense to be over there.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks very much, Ari. And Renee, I'll come to you. You're in line with Ari's here. If I magnify your choice, did you see anything any differently, or are you?
Yeah, not too different. I just felt that the player in purple, I think it almost looks like he's looking higher when it's not zoomed in, but when you actually zoom into his eyes, I just felt it was a little bit more to the right, because I feel like even though it looks like he's looking very steeply, I agree with Jenna that I can't really see much white at the bottom of his eyes, and I feel like he can't look directly through his eyebrows and his forehead, so that's why I put it a little bit further forward, and obviously cross-referenced it with the guy in yellow, where I think we're all on a similar line there.
Yeah, thank you very much. And then there's someone very close. Hugh's very close to the calculated average if we have it here. But I'll go to you, Kieran, here. Again, highlighting yours. You're at the bottom of a sort of a tight bunch of three. What's your hang on this?
Yeah, thanks, Matt. I kind of agree with what most people are saying. I don't think that it's too far away from the player in sort of purple. I think both players are looking at the ball intently. I do think his head is tilted back, so he is looking a little more above him, but slightly in front of him. I also think he's not going to be able to play the ball if it's too far above him. But yeah, otherwise I tend to agree with what people have said so far. I just think that I agree with you that I think it's a little bit further to above him rather than in front of him.
Yeah, thank you very much. Andy, you're next. You're just above Kieran's, and then highlight your choice there.
Thanks, Matt. To me, the average, I personally think it's slightly more to the left as we're looking at the picture. Where I've got my cross, if anything, I'd put it slightly above where I am. So there's quite a few people who have taken the guy in yellow's eye view who to me are correct, but I just feel that it's slightly touched to the left. And don't forget, we're looking for the centre of the ball, not a touch of the ball, the outside of the ball. The centre of the ball, to me, his eye line tells me that he's looking just slightly above actually where I've put my cross.
Yeah, that's a very good point, Andy, to make. It is the centre of the ball. As I said, with this, the player in yellow, it is quite a narrow field of vision going up. That's great. And then Alain, you're just above Andy's choice here and getting close to this first calculated average. How did you see the photo?
Yeah, no, thanks, Matt. I took mainly the information from actually from, to determine, the height of the direction of the ball from the right eye of the player in purple. And I looked at his pupil, and I tried to go for 90-degree angle. So that's, why, how I, determined, how do you say, horizontally the position. And then I took the player in yellow. I think he was looking up diagonally. Obviously, I don't think he's going to get the ball. The ball is above the player in purple. He's on the floor, and I think he's going to head it. But I think, I went, I think he's looking quite steeply, the player in purple. Maybe not as steep as you and Leo think, but quite steep.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. And lastly, Hugh, you're the closest to this original calculated average. I'll just magnify your choice. Have you got anything different to add, or how did you see this situation?
Yeah, for me, nothing majorly different. I agree. We've said it before. I don't think the player, I think Rene said it, can't look straight through your kind of own eyebrow, through their forehead. So although his neck is back and he's looking up, I agree. I still think it's that little bit in front of him.
Yeah,
but agree with what everyone said. It's the player in purple who's going to play it. I guess it's just the left to right that we disagree on.
Yeah, I mean, I think as Ari pointed out, that the ball is sort of in the foreground a bit. So for my mind, looking at the yellow player looking across, they're sort of looking across into a ball that's slightly in front of us, closer to us, if you like, from the photo. That would mean that he wouldn't be looking through his eyebrows, because the ball's sort of this side of him. It's sort of more directly up from the way his head is pointing. That's just one thing I'd say. What I'm going to do initially is I'm going to...
Matt, sorry, could I just ask one small request?
Of course you can.
Please, my friend. Sorry. Could you just put the magnifier, because you haven't done so, this on the average cross, please, is just one thing. So we can just see who's in and who's out.
Yeah.
Okay, so it just gives us an idea of what we got going on there. And the other thing is a point. It's just come to me while listening to my fellow judges, is if you take a line from the centre of the guy in claret, from the bridge of his nose,
yeah,
and you go through the average cross, you get 5 on one side and you get 5 on the other, which gives us the split opinion of, is the ball high? Is the ball low? Just something for you. Yeah.
I feel that we have 2 clusters over here. Yeah.
Yeah, I see your point. I mean, what I was going to allude to originally, if I and I'm just bear with me.
It's fine. Yeah. Listen.
Oh no,
you're the gaffer. That's fine. But it's just a couple of things that come to me while people were talking. I thought, well, hold on, throw a bit more info and.
No. Again, I think it's very important for the players of this competition to know that although I'm the lead judge, or you call me the gaffer, thank you very much. that it is a panel decision there, and these are all about all our personal opinions about how we see it as footballers, referees, and it is us as a whole panel that needs to decide this. It's very, very important. It's just not me deciding that I don't like this, I don't like that. I'm looking at it from a whole perspective, and certainly how we've judged it in the past. So what I'm alluding to here, if I put you and Jenna back in, as you've said, and I've drawn the lines as you pointed out, but on the foreheads that of the calculated average with you both in. If I remove two of you, and I will undo the last two, and I put them back in onto again this calculated average, I'm a little bit more comfortable personally with this, because if I go over the top of the calculated average, you've got a balance of left and right. You've got just three above. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 quite close at the bottom. So I think the split is a little bit better for me, and I think, as Andy pointed out so eloquently, that having it slightly higher sits more comfortably with I think how the photograph looks. I just cannot see personally the player in claret, and thank you for whoever said claret, that was the word I was looking for earlier, that isn't looking this low. And I can't see how the player in claret, I can understand why it's coming off 45 degrees, but I think personally we can see enough of his eye. So what I'd like to do is go to a panel vote to basically leave Liam and Jenna in, which gives us the calculated average here, which I'll highlight, or to remove Liam and Jenna, which brings the calculated average slightly steeper, and really just leaves Aries out completely from the center of the ball. So if we can go for that, I will obviously start with a yes. Renee?
If I'm honest, I think, sorry, if you can put them back in quickly.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Take your time.
Yeah, and then if you go over the center, yeah, the average. Yeah, I personally think if you remove, who is it, Liam and Jenna, then you probably have to remove yourself and Leo, because obviously with how we've judged it in the past, it's whoever is at least touching the center of the ball. So I think you need to leave everybody in or take the four of you out.
I would agree with you, except I think with this player in the claret, I think the eye is clear enough to suggest that the ball cannot be this low. I mean, if I highlight again Liam's, and again, you know, I was a bit hard on this about it being the lead judge. If I highlight that as the magnifier of the ball, the player in claret is just simply not looking in that direction. And that's why the calculated average, I think, needs to rise. I can understand if Leo and I were far enough away, but we are balanced with basically Ari and Rennie, your own choice, with Liam and Jenna removed. But you're saying that you, as a simple vote, you'll be happier to keep them in, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Ari?
Yes, I'm exactly from the same opinion as Rene, because I felt that we have almost two clusters over there, and in this situation, if we start to remove crosses out, you remove the further to the right. I would suggest you'd have to remove your as well, and then with that you would remove mine as well, and then the cluster would.
No, I'm not suggesting
would go
to removing yours, but what I'm saying that there is a
yes, but
right
if,
to let. Do you think this player is looking low as Liam's choice?
I wouldn't say that,
right,
as I wouldn't say yours as well in this case, because I don't feel that he's looking that far back.
Okay, that's fair enough, but what we can't do is to get a situation where we remove more than a couple or three or four choices. As soon as we start going the other way.
That's why I'm saying, because
right.
there's no clear cluster, only one cluster. We have two separate ones, as we can see on the spread.
Mm-hmm.
And in this situation, I don't feel we have enough to remove anyone. I think we just should accept the clear average from this one.
Okay, so you're left again, and I'll reiterate that you're happy that this player is looking that low.
Well, not as low and not as high as yours, for example.
Okay, so if we, okay, but that's not what we're voting on.
Well, but that's my feeling.
Okay, so that's to leave Liam and Jenna's in.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Hugh?
For me, I think it's really tricky. I think I'm not overly comfortable with them staying in because I don't think where they are is right. But at the same token, I think actually Aries isn't for me feasible either. And if we were to remove, we'd go further. So
Okay, if
I'm
I put
torn.
Liam and Jenna back, all it does is bring this calculated average further to the right as we're looking at the photograph and further down. So what we're talking about is where the calculated average ends up, as opposed to removing individual choices per se.
Yeah. For me personally, obviously, I am slightly more to the right anyway. So I'm happier with Liam and Jenna skewing it to the right. I know normally we have a nice cluster where they're all incorporated, but I've got to agree with Liam. I think it's actually got a nice balance of 5 above, 5 below, 5 left, 5 right.
Okay.
So I'd say leave them in.
Great. Thank you very much. Alain?
Yeah, Matt. Based on the way we've been judging so far, I would, keep both in. But based on where I think the average is, I would keep them out. So I think I agree with you, Matt. Is looking the play in claret is looking, quite steep.
Yeah.
And therefore I think the average, talking about the average works better as it is.
Yeah. Thank you. Leo?
Yeah, I 100% agree with you, Matt. I think the player in claret is looking more steeply. So yeah, I'd take them both out.
Okay, thank you. Liam?
I think on this occasion, Matt, I will. I agree with some of the comments that have been made by my fellow judges, and I'm going to vote for myself and Jenna to remain in because I feel that we counterbalance yourself and Leo. Although I agree that possibly other people have said that my cross may be a little bit low. That's fine. I feel that your two are, as comments have been made, are too high.
Okay, fair enough. But you don't think that with you two remove that Ari and Renee's then counter myself and
no. I think I prefer the average with the cross just that little bit. It'd be interesting. Look, we could sit here. This is a good one. We, I love a friendly debate, and that's what we're having. Yeah. It'd be interesting to see where it took the average if you removed. I'm not saying to do it. If yourself and Leo come out, what it did then. But we could play with this all morning. But I'm gonna go with staying in.
Yeah, I mean, you can play around with this until you have an awful lot of people removed, and then you just have one choice. But it's not about that. Okay, thank you very much, Liam. Jenna.
Yeah, same as Liam. Obviously, slightly biased, but I would be happier keeping us in.
Yeah, okay.
Just based on counteracting on the other side.
Yeah, thanks, Jenna. Kieran.
Well, yes, Matt. Unfortunately, I think I agree with you to some extent. I think the line that we've got it on there now without those two is best, but I can understand the arguments. So I would prefer it without them.
Yeah, thank you. Andy?
Thanks, Matt. Again, as I said earlier, I feel that the balance or the calculated average with the two out suits me better. Can I just say, though, that don't forget that with the calculated average, you're going to get 5 on each side, 5 and 5, generally speaking. The way that we are there, 5 and 2, because it is a calculated average, so it's going to be in the center of 10 choices, generally speaking.
No, I understand. Okay, so this is an interesting one that we've never come across this before, where we have 5 to remove and 5 to keep. So,
the claim a draw.
A claim a draw. Yes. Well, yeah. I am going to stick to my guns on this and say there's a lead judge that my vote is the swinging vote, and I'm going to keep judging forward here, as I've been asked to do, to progress with a judged average with Liam and Jenna's removed. I totally understand the arguments from everybody, and this is, as Liam said, this is a difficult picture in the sense that the choices have been made are looking down, looking up. But one thing I will say, and the reason that I'm going to do this is because the players of this competition are going to be judging this photograph predominantly using the eyes that they see. And I don't think many of them are going to understand how the ball can be put that low. And I think it skews the average a bit too low for me. And that's why I think I'm going to progress the way I have. It's difficult. I don't like to do it because I understand everybody's argument. But I think from the players of this competition, it's paramountly important that the picture is viewed from a footballing point of view, from a refereeing point of view, but from also how they play the competition. So with a heavy heart and 5-all, Alex, I've decided to progress with the calculated average with Liam and Jenna's choices removed after a very long and a very good debate. And thank you all.
Thanks, Matt. Please now click Submit. Thank you, judges. The selected coordinates are 1083731. These coordinates will now be passed to the auditing company Azets to calculate the winner of the competition, and they will then inform best of the best. That concludes the judging process. Thank you.